From stolen Viking treasures to ancient blood rituals, history hides its best stories in the dirt. Today, we're uncovering 50 jaw-dropping artifacts that changed everything we knew about the past. No fluff, just facts. Let's dig. Beneath the waves off Syria's coast lies one of the most significant underwater discoveries of our time, an entire Roman port city frozen in time. Marine archaeologists were stunned to uncover not just scattered ruins, but a fully intact maritime complex that once thrived as a bustling trade hub. The site features massive hydraulic structures that controlled water flow, 4 towering marble columns that likely supported an impressive waterfront building, and the remains of what appears to be a lighthouse that guided ships into harbour. What makes this discovery truly extraordinary is evidence suggesting the Romans built their port directly atop an even older Phoenician settlement. Diving teams have recovered pottery fragments and architectural elements that predate Roman occupation by centuries. This layered history reveals how successive civilizations recognized the strategic importance of this location. The port's advanced engineering, including sophisticated wave breakers and docking systems, suggests it may have been far more crucial to Mediterranean trade networks than previously believed. The real mystery lies in why such an important port was abandoned to the sea. Was it gradual sea level rise, a catastrophic tsunami, or something more sinister that caused this thriving hub to vanish beneath the waves? The answers may rewrite our understanding of ancient maritime history. On the island of Naxos lies one of archaeology's most perplexing mysteries, a colossal marble statue of Dionysus frozen in time, abandoned mid-creation. This 35-foot behemoth weighs an astonishing 88 tons, its unfinished form revealing the ancient sculpting process like no other artifact. The statue's massive scale suggests it was meant to be a centerpiece of religious worship, possibly for a temple that was never built. Archaeologists have pieced together the likely story. Ancient workers began carving the statue directly from a marble outcrop, following the common practice of shaping monuments in situ before transport. But when they realized the finished product would be impossible to move without breaking, the island's terrain being too rough and their technology insufficient for such weight, they simply walked away. Yet questions remain. Tools were left scattered around the site as if work ceased suddenly. Some researchers speculate political upheaval or religious changes halted the project. Others note the quarry shows signs of being used for centuries after. Why didn't anyone complete this masterpiece? The abandoned giant stands as both a testament to ancient ambition and a humbling reminder of their limitations. In the quiet village of Oil Dakwa stands one of India's most enigmatic temples, dominated by a massive stone frog statue that locals believe holds mystical powers. The official history claims it was built just 200 years ago by Raja Bakht Singh, but architectural elements tell a different story. The temple's 7-tiered tower rises over 100 feet in a style that echoes much older traditions, and the masonry shows signs of multiple construction phases spanning centuries, if not millennia. Inside the sanctum lies another mystery, a unique standing statue of Nandi bull, unlike any other in India. Normally Nandi is depicted seated before Shiva, but here it stands alert, as if guarding something. The frog itself bears an intricate yantra, mystical diagram, on its back, associated with tantric practices rarely seen in mainstream Hinduism. Local legends speak of the temple being rediscovered rather than built, with the frog acting as a guardian to something buried beneath. Recent geological surveys have detected hollow spaces under the foundation, fueling speculation about hidden chambers. Whether ancient fertility site, tantric power center, or something more esoteric, this temple challenges conventional understandings of India's religious history. What appeared to be a lump of corroded metal in a German grave turned out to be one of the most spectacular Roman weapons ever discovered. After 9 months of meticulous restoration, conservators revealed an ornate dagger so finely crafted, it must have belonged to a high-ranking officer. The blade and its silver inlaid sheath feature intricate designs, showing military victories, while the handle displays rare ivory carvings. The discovery site near Halton am See was a key Roman military base during their doomed campaign to conquer Germania. Forensic analysis shows the dagger was deliberately buried with its owner rather than lost in battle. More intriguingly, the blade shows signs of being used in close quarters combat shortly before burial. Historians now believe this may have been the weapon of a Roman officer killed during the infamous Battle of the Teutoburg Forest, where Germanic tribes annihilated 3 legions. Was this dagger buried with a fallen commander as his troops retreated? Or could it have been a ceremonial offering by victorious Germans? Its unparalleled craftsmanship suggests it tells a story far more significant than a simple soldier's burial. In Israel's Golan Heights stands Roujam Elhiri, a massive stone monument that defies explanation. This enormous structure consists of 5 concentric circles built from over 100,000 basalt rocks, with walls reaching 8 feet high and spanning nearly 500 feet across. At its center lies a mysterious cairn that some believe was once a tomb, though no human remains have been found. The precision of the construction is astounding for its presumed age. Estimated at 5,000 years old based on pottery fragments found nearby. The alignment of certain walls with solstice sunrises suggests astronomical knowledge, leading some to call it Israel's Stonehenge. Yet unlike other ancient observatories, Roujam Elhiri's complex geometry serves no obvious calendrical purpose. Alternative theories abound. Was it a ritual center for an unknown cult? A symbolic gateway between worlds? The site's Hebrew name translates to Wheel of Spirits, and local folklore claims it's connected to the biblical giant Og of Bashan. What's certain is that the civilization capable of such sophisticated stonework left no other traces in the region, making this their sole enigmatic legacy. The true purpose of this star-shaped puzzle may remain locked in the ancient past forever. Off England's coast, divers found the oldest wooden structure ever discovered, a sophisticated platform made 3,000 years before Stonehenge. This wasn't just some logs tied together. Precisely split timbers interlocked like modern engineering tool marks, showing advanced woodworking, evidence of large-scale maritime activity. The implications rewrite history. Britain was connected to Europe at the time, Doggerland. Stone Age people had complex societies. Why did they build this? And where did they vanish to? One theory suggests rising seas drowned their world, forcing survivors to become Europe's first migrants. Their legacy? Perhaps the very DNA of modern nations. Workers in Basel were just trying to build a boathouse when their shovels hit stone, ancient stone. As archaeologists rushed in, they uncovered something incredible, the last amphitheater ever built by the Roman Empire. This wasn't just any arena. Fine plaster still clung to the walls, and the ghostly imprints of wooden grandstands remained. Experts say it was constructed in the 4th century AD, just decades before Rome's collapse. Was this the empire's final attempt to hold on to its glory, or a desperate last stand against the barbarians closing in? Even more chilling, the south gate still stands intact, as if waiting for one last crowd to enter. What spectacles played out here before the lights went out on Rome forever? In the ruins of Hatra, a city destroyed by ISIS, restorers made a spine-tingling discovery. Carvings of a camel that shouldn't exist. This wasn't a Bactrian or dromedary. It was something in between. Its face was wrong. Its fur was wrong. Had ancient breeders created a hybrid species lost to time? The carvings date to 168 AD, commissioned by King Sanatrukfor himself. But here's the twist. They were hidden in a temple to the goddess Alat. Was this creature her sacred symbol, a genetic experiment, or evidence of a species we still haven't found? Cut into a mountainside, over 4,000 tombs stare emptily across Sicily. This is Pantalica, a necropolis so vast it became a UNESCO site. But the real mystery? Every single tomb was robbed centuries ago, not by modern looters, but by ancient grave robbers. Why? Some say treasure hunters came searching for a rumored Mycenaean palace hidden atop the hill. Others whisper of a dark ritual that required disturbing the dead. The most unsettling part, no bones remain, not a single skeleton. Where did 600 years of the dead go? Beneath Naples's bustling streets lies a secret underworld of the ultra-rich. These aren't graves, they're palaces for the dead, carved from soft volcanic rock. When archaeologists first entered, They gasped. Walls covered in rare Greek art, grand staircases, and even elaborate streets connecting the tombs. This was a necropolis designed like a city, where the elite partied even in death. Now, after 2,300 years, you can finally walk these haunted halls. But beware. Locals say some residents never left. At first glance, it's undeniable. A woman holding a slim, open object, just like a laptop. Even the USB ports are there, though they're actually drill holes. Found on a marble grave marker from 100 BC, this artifact has sparked wild theories. Time travelers? Probably not. A prophetic vision? Unlikely. A hinged mirror or jewelry box? Boring but plausible. But here's what chills historians. No other artifact like this exists. Was it a one-off mistake? Or evidence of technology we've forgotten? Beneath an English field lay Britain's most bizarre Roman mosaic. A sprawling artwork of Greek myths with one terrifying addition. Between images of heroes and horses, 4 words gleam: I want to live. Was this a dying man's last wish? A spell to cheat death? Or something far darker? The villa's owner remains unknown, but one thing's clear. Nobody writes that on their floor unless they're really afraid of what comes next. When renovators lifted the floorboards of Château de Piquant-Blanc in 2018, they uncovered a 140-year-old secret too horrifying to ignore. The diary of carpenter Joachim Martin, scrawled on the underside of the very floor he installed. Page after page reveals a small town's darkest secrets. Benjamin B., a respected man who drowned his 4 illegitimate children to hide his affair. A priest who used confession to manipulate women into sexual acts. And worst of all, Joachim's helplessness as the crimes continued, fearing retaliation if he spoke out. The most chilling entry. I helped build Benjamin's house today. As I nailed the floor, I wondered if he'd kill again beneath it. Historians confirm the murders really happened, but no one was ever punished. Joachim took the truth to his grave, literally underfoot. When satellite images revealed perfect geometric shapes beneath Antarctica's ice in 2017, scientists were stunned. These weren't natural formations, they were structures. The discoveries include a 400-foot oval monolith with precise 90-degree angles, what appears to be a pyramid larger than Egypt's Great Pyramid, straight walls stretching over 150 meters. The possibilities are terrifying. A lost prehistoric civilization frozen during the last ice age. Nazi secret bases from W22. Declassified maps show they explored Antarctica. Or something even the government won't admit exists. Here's what we know. The ice here is 34 million years old. If these are man-made, they predate human civilization itself. In the year 2019, a metal detectorist named Charlie Clark made a remarkable discovery in the English countryside. An exquisitely crafted gold and enamel pendant, intricately designed with the intertwined initials H and K, representing Henry and Catherine, the names of one of history's most famous royal couples. The pendant also bears the Latin inscription, Toujours fidèle, meaning forever faithful, a phrase that carries deep irony when considering the eventual fate of their marriage. Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon were married for 23 years before their union was dissolved in a highly public and contentious divorce, a decision that not only altered their personal lives, but also set into motion the English Reformation, permanently changing the religious and political landscape of England. The craftsmanship of the pendant suggests that it was not merely a decorative piece, but a personal possession of significant value, likely exchanged between the two as a token of affection during the early years of their marriage. At the time, such pendants were common among nobility as symbols of love and loyalty, often worn as part of jewelry or attached to clothing. The fact that this particular pendant survived centuries buried in the ground makes it an extraordinary artifact, offering a tangible connection to the personal lives of these historical figures. In 2022, archaeologists working near Northampton, England, uncovered a burial site that would prove to be one of the most significant Anglo-Saxon discoveries in recent decades. The grave, dating back approximately 1,300 years, belonged to a woman of extraordinary wealth and high social standing, as evidenced by the opulent treasures buried alongside her. Among the most striking finds was a gold necklace, meticulously assembled from Roman coins and garnets. making it the most lavish necklace of its kind ever discovered in Britain. The presence of such an item immediately signaled that this woman was no ordinary individual. She was someone of immense importance, possibly royalty or a figure of great religious influence. However, the most intriguing aspect of the burial was not the necklace itself, but a silver cross found encased in soil. The cross's design and placement within the grave suggest that this woman may have been an early Christian leader, a rare and significant revelation given the time period. During the 7th century, Christianity was still spreading across England, and the presence of such a high-status Christian burial provides valuable insight into the religious transition taking place in Anglo-Saxon society. Along the ancient Appian Way in Rome, archaeologists uncovered a marble statue depicting a figure draped in the lion-skin cloak traditionally associated with Hercules, the legendary hero of Greek and Roman mythology. At first glance, the statue appears to be a typical representation of Hercules, but upon closer examination, experts notice something unusual. The facial features did not align with classical depictions of the demigod. Instead, the statue's face bore a striking resemblance to known portraits of Emperor Trajan Decius, who ruled Rome from 249 to 251 AD during one of the empire's most turbulent periods, known as the Crisis of the 3rd century. This discovery has led historians to speculate that the statue was not actually meant to represent Hercules, but was instead a carefully crafted piece of imperial propaganda. During times of instability, Roman emperors often associated themselves with gods and heroes to strengthen their authority and present themselves as protectors of the empire. By adopting the imagery of Hercules, a symbol of strength, endurance, and divine favor, Trajan Decius may have sought to project an image of resilience and power to his subjects. In 2023, archaeologists working at Japan's Tomio Maruyama Kofun, the largest known burial mound of its kind, made a stunning discovery: a 7-foot-long iron sword and a massive bronze mirror placed atop the coffin of a noble individual. The sheer size and craftsmanship of these objects immediately set them apart as items of immense significance, likely intended to serve a ceremonial or spiritual purpose rather than a practical one. The mirror, in particular, stands out due to its intricate patterns, which match a style known as daryukyo, previously seen only in Chinese artifacts. This suggests that the mirror was not merely a decorative object, but a carefully designed ritual item, possibly used to guide the deceased into the afterlife. In ancient Japanese and Chinese beliefs, mirrors were thought to possess spiritual properties, capable of warding off evil spirits or reflecting the soul's journey into the next world. Beneath a modern-day cricket club in Carlisle, England, archaeologists uncovered the remains of a Roman bathhouse, a place where citizens of the empire would have gathered to socialize, relax, and cleanse themselves. Among the ruins, they found a collection of small but incredibly detailed engraved gemstones known as intaglios. These gems, which would have been set into rings, depict intricate images of gods, emperors, and mythological scenes, each one a miniature masterpiece of Roman craftsmanship. The reason these gems were found scattered across the bathhouse floor is as practical as it is fascinating. The rings holding them were likely secured with an adhesive that weakened in the heat and steam of the baths, causing the stones to loosen and fall out over time. For their wealthy owners, these losses may have been an unfortunate but unavoidable consequence of enjoying the luxuries of Roman life. In the quiet town of Iznik, Turkey, a farmer working his orchard unearthed a remarkable cache of Byzantine artifacts buried for over 1,500 years. Among the finds were gold coins, small figurines, and a striking clay tablet etched with 3 crosses, a clear symbol of early Christian devotion. Historians believe these treasures were deliberately hidden, possibly during a period of invasion or religious persecution, when openly displaying one's faith could be dangerous. The tablet, in particular, offers a rare glimpse into how Byzantine Christians may have practiced their beliefs in secret, safeguarding sacred objects underground rather than risking destruction. At Ethiopia's Simbiro 3 site, archaeologists uncovered more than 600 obsidian handaxes, revealing that early hominins were mass-producing tools 500,000 years earlier than previously believed. These finely crafted blades, dating back 1.2 million years, suggest a level of planning and skill that challenges long-held assumptions about the cognitive abilities of our ancient ancestors. The use of obsidian, a volcanic glass requiring precise technique to shape, indicates these early humans not only understood material properties, but also engaged in organized, large-scale tool-making, marking a crucial leap in technological advancement. Discovered in Germany's Harz Mountains, a 51,000-year-old deer bone bears carefully carved chevron patterns, undeniable proof that Neanderthals possessed symbolic thought. What makes this artifact even more intriguing is that the bone was deliberately boiled and scraped clean before engraving, suggesting a ritualistic or communicative purpose beyond mere decoration. While we may never fully understand the meaning behind these markings, they shatter the outdated notion that Neanderthals were incapable of abstract expression, placing them firmly within the realm of early cultural development. In 2021, a metal detectorist in England stumbled upon a bizarre relic of Victorian-era superstition, a sealed witch bottle containing urine, human hair, and a single tooth. Nearby lay a severed doll's head, amplifying the eerie nature of the find. Such bottles were commonly buried near homes as protective charms, believed to trap malevolent spirits or curses. This discovery provides a tangible link to the fears and folklore of 19th century England, where belief in witchcraft lingered long after the infamous trials of earlier centuries. This ornate medieval sword, once confiscated by King Edward IV during the Wars of the Roses in 1471, vanished for centuries before resurfacing in a London trash heap in 1897. After spending 125 years in a Scottish museum, it finally returned to Coventry in 2021, a poignant homecoming for a city that lost much of its medieval heritage. The sword, likely a ceremonial symbol of civic pride, now stands as a testament to Coventry's turbulent past and enduring identity. Deep in Armenia's Ornate Roman cave, archaeologists made an astonishing find, a 5,500-year-old leather shoe predating even Stonehenge. Crafted from a single piece of cowhide and laced with leather cords, the shoe was stuffed with grass, likely for insulation against the cold. The cave's dry, stable environment acted like a natural time capsule, preserving not only the shoe, but also the world's oldest known winemaking equipment nearby. Was this the footwear of a Copper Age vintner? While we can't say for certain, the discovery offers an intimate look at how early humans dressed for survival, and perhaps even comfort, millennia before modern footwear existed. Near a medieval stronghold in Poland, researchers uncovered a haunting 9th century stone carving, a face with curling horns that has sparked fierce debate. Some scholars argue it depicts a Slavic deity, possibly a forgotten god of protection or harvest. Others believe it's a Christian representation of evil, meant to warn believers against temptation. With no surviving text to explain its purpose, the stone remains an enigma. Was it a pagan idol hidden after conversion, a boundary marker warding off evil spirits, or simply medieval folk art? The mystery endures, a silent sentinel from Europe's spiritual crossroads. A silver chalice from 5th century England tells a hidden story of faith under pressure. Tiny scratch crosses and Greek letters, including the Chi-Rho, an early Christian symbol, cover its surface. These weren't random marks, but deliberate pilgrim graffiti, likely made by believers during Rome's decline, when Christian worship sometimes had to be discreet. The chalice may have been used in secret ceremonies, passed among the faithful who risked persecution. Each scratch is a testament to devotion, turning a beautiful vessel into a sacred scrapbook of survival. In the ruins of Palenque, Mexico, archaeologists found a striking stucco head of the Maya maize god. But this was no ordinary sculpture. Carefully placed in a small, water-filled depression, the head was designed to represent the god's journey into the underworld, a key part of the Maya creation story. Unlike other statues, this head was likely never attached to a body. It was created as a standalone ritual object to ensure agricultural fertility. Its precise east-west alignment suggests it was part of a larger celestial calculation, linking the cycles of maize, the staple of life, to the movements of the sun and stars. A powerful symbol of death and rebirth, frozen in time. In October 2021, a metal detectorist scanning a field near Tiffin Castle in Switzerland made an extraordinary discovery, a remarkably well-preserved Roman dagger. The find immediately attracted archaeological attention, leading to a full-scale excavation of the site. What emerged from this investigation was evidence of a 2,000-year-old battlefield, likely the scene of a violent confrontation between Roman forces and the local Ryan tribes during Rome's prolonged campaign to assert control over the region. The dagger itself is a masterpiece of ancient craftsmanship, featuring intricate brass and silver inlays that speak to its value as both a weapon and a status symbol. One particularly compelling theory suggests that the dagger may have been deliberately buried by a Roman legionnaire as a votive offering, a sacrifice to the gods in exchange for victory in battle. This practice was not uncommon in the ancient world, where soldiers often left valuable possessions at battle sites as part of religious rituals. The fact that such a finely made weapon was left behind indicates that its owner considered it a worthwhile trade for survival on the battlefield. In October 2021, researchers made an unusual but groundbreaking discovery while studying ancient human waste preserved in the Hallstatt salt mine in the Austrian Alps. These 2,700-year-old fecal samples, remarkably well preserved thanks to the mine's stable, salty environment, offered an unprecedented look at the dietary habits of Iron Age miners. Analysis revealed that these workers consumed blue cheese and beer, providing the earliest direct evidence of intentional fermentation practices in this region. The presence of these fermented products suggests a level of culinary sophistication previously underestimated among ancient Austrian populations. Beyond the cheese and beer, the fossilized waste contained traces of various other foods, including cereals, fruits, beans, and meat, painting a picture of a surprisingly balanced and varied diet. This challenges older assumptions that prehistoric diets were monotonous or nutritionally inadequate. Archaeologists working in Russia's Ostrogozhsk district made a spectacular find in November 2021, a 2,400-year-old Scythian warrior's grave filled with extraordinary artifacts. The tomb's contents immediately signaled the high status of its occupant, likely a chieftain or particularly revered warrior. Among the most striking items was a silver plate decorated with intricate depictions of griffins and winged gods, showcasing the cultural exchange between the Scythians and Greek civilizations to the south. The burial also contained an array of gold jewelry, weapons, and a helmet, all indicative of the warrior's elite status. A particularly intriguing inclusion was a horse rib, possibly representing a food offering for the afterlife. The presence of such grave goods follows Scythian burial traditions, which often involved interring the deceased with items they might need in the next world. The tomb's northern location is somewhat unusual for finds of this richness, suggesting that Scythian influence may have extended further than previously believed. Excavations in Jerusalem uncovered a rare luxury item from the First Temple period, a 2,700-year-old limestone toilet found in the remains of what was clearly an opulent garden setting. In ancient Jerusalem, private toilets were extreme rarities, available only to the wealthiest members of society. This particular example was even equipped with a primitive septic system, demonstrating advanced understanding of sanitation for its time. The toilet's discovery provides fascinating insights into the living conditions of Jerusalem's elite during this period. However, archaeologists were puzzled by the animal bones and pottery fragments found inside the septic area. These could represent ritual deposits, accidental inclusions, or evidence of how the space was repurposed after the toilet fell out of use. A nearly pristine 5th century gold ring and clasp discovered in Rakovník, Czech Republic, in 2021 represents an exceptional example of early medieval jewelry craftsmanship. The ring is set with Czech garnets and what appear to be Indian or Sri Lankan almondines, indicating participation in long-distance trade networks that connected Central Europe to South Asia. While the accompanying clasp was found broken, the ring itself shows no signs of wear, suggesting it may have been deliberately buried rather than lost. One plausible explanation is that it was hidden for safekeeping during a time of unrest. a practice documented in other archaeological contexts when owners faced imminent danger and hoped to recover their valuables later. The quality of the ring's construction and the value of its materials strongly suggest it belonged to someone of high social standing, possibly nobility. In 2011, a collection of lead-bound books surfaced from a Jordanian cave, sparking intense debate among scholars. These palm-sized codices contain cryptic inscriptions and Kabbalistic symbols, with some pages suggesting early Christian or Jewish mystical texts. Initial skepticism arose due to inconsistent lettering styles and questionable provenance. However, metallurgical analysis confirmed the lead sheets and leather bindings date back approximately 2,000 years. While the materials are ancient, the authenticity of the texts remains contentious. Some researchers argue they represent coded religious knowledge, while others maintain they may be an elaborate historical forgery. The codices' unresolved nature makes them one of archaeology's most puzzling recent discoveries. The 2006 discovery of the Newbridge chariot near Edinburgh overturned assumptions about Iron Age Britain. Unlike typical British chariot burials, where vehicles were ritually dismantled, this specimen was buried intact, complete with its iron-rimmed wheels and yoke. This practice closely mirrors continental European customs, particularly those of the Gauls, suggesting previously underestimated cultural exchange across the English Channel during the 5th–3rd centuries BCE. The chariot's preservation also revealed sophisticated woodworking techniques, while the absence of human remains hints at either a symbolic burial or later disturbance of the site. Excavations near Leipzig in 2012 uncovered humanity's oldest known purse, a 4,500-year-old leather pouch decorated with over 100 dog teeth. The canines were meticulously arranged in rows, their enamel still gleaming after millennia. While initially assumed to be a status symbol, the presence of wear patterns suggests practical use. The teeth may have served as rattling ornaments or protective amulets, paralleling later Bronze Age beliefs about animal parts warding off evil. This find revolutionizes our understanding of prehistoric fashion, proving that accessories carried both functional and symbolic weight long before modern handbags existed. A 2015 excavation in Bulgaria yielded a 1st century vase bearing a faint but legible Greek inscription, Solon's Prayer to the Muses. Archaeologists propose that the text transferred accidentally from a parchment pressed against the unfired clay. This serendipitous preservation confirms that ancient Thracians engaged with Greek literature, challenging assumptions about regional literacy. The vase's context within a domestic setting suggests Hellenistic cultural influence penetrated daily life, not just elite circles. Interestingly, the poem's philosophical themes may indicate its owner valued intellectual pursuits alongside practical pottery use. Recent reanalysis of a Sican culture gold mask, circa 900–1100 CE, revealed a grisly detail. Its crimson coating contained proteins from human blood mixed with bird egg whites. This sacred paint was likely applied during funeral rites for a noble, symbolizing life force and rebirth. The mask's craftsmanship is equally striking, hammered from a single gold sheet with slit eyes, allowing the deceased to see the afterlife, and elongated ears denoting elite status. Found in a Lambayeque Valley tomb, it exemplifies how the Sican blended metallurgical skill with profound spiritual beliefs, using literal blood to bridge the mortal and divine realms. In 2010, a rare 11th century Viking helmet emerged from Romania's River Siret, only to disappear into the black market before archaeologists could properly document it. The helmet, likely traded through Kievan Rus, a Viking-founded state, was stolen shortly after its discovery, leaving only photographs as evidence. For over a decade, its whereabouts remained unknown until an anonymous tip led Romanian police to recover it in February 2021. Miraculously undamaged, the artifact now resides in a museum, offering researchers a rare glimpse into Viking craftsmanship and trade networks. Its survival against the odds makes it as much a story of modern crime as ancient history. Discovered in 1855 in County Cavan, Ireland, this 1,900-year-old stone carving depicts three distinct faces on a single head, a puzzling deviation from typical Celtic depictions of deities. Each face bears unique features, one with heavy brows, another with a slit mouth, and the third with a gaping hole. While often linked to the god Crom Cruach, usually shown with one face, its true meaning remains debated. Found near a Romano-Irish shrine, the head suggests a blending of Celtic and Roman religious influences, hinting at Ireland's complex cultural exchanges during the early centuries CE. Unearthed in Kinis, Iraq in 2021, this 2,800-year-old industrial-scale wine press is adorned with carvings of Assyrian gods and kings, including Ishtar, the goddess of love and war, depicted riding a lion. Among the oldest known wine production sites, it features 14 grape-pressing basins, suggesting mass output likely reserved for elites or religious ceremonies. The reliefs may have served a dual purpose, glorifying King Sennacherib, who commissioned the facility, and reminding workers to honor the gods and their ruler for their livelihood. A metal detectorist on Denmark's Funen Island, 2015, found a 2-inch bronze bust of Silenus, the perpetually intoxicated tutor of Dionysus. This miniature masterpiece, likely once attached to a Roman lectus dining couch, would have overseen wine-soaked feasts. Silenus, a figure of both wisdom and revelry, embodied the duality of Roman banquets, intellectual discourse, and unrestrained indulgence. His presence on a couch armrest suggests guests were literally dining under the gaze of debauchery's patron saint,